There are now 4 films in the new DC animated movie universe, the Tomorrowverse, and I thought I'd stop and rank all of them. Consider this a small precursor to my upcoming updated ranking of every DC animated movie. I still have a couple that I need to watch for it to be every single DC animated movie, and I will probably see League of Super Pets before the video. Let me know if you want me to wait until Battle of the Super Sons, that is in October, or if you just want me to go ahead with the list, probably sometime next month in August. But for now, I am only ranking the 4 Tomorrowverse films: Superman, Man of Tomorrow, Justice Society World War II, Batman The Long Halloween. I am considering that one entry, parts 1 and 2, are going to be one single entry on the list. And finally, the most recent film, Green Lantern, Beware My Power. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the list. At number 4 is actually Justice Society World War II. I will preface this by saying that I enjoy all these movies to an extent. There isn't a single one that I hate, but this was just the most disappointing for me. I've also reviewed every single movie that is going to be on this list, and I've rewatched the movie since I reviewed it, but my opinions on it still stand. I think the Flash is the main character in the movie. I just thought it was going to be more of a solo Flash movie than it actually was. Not a solo Flash movie, but to me, Flashpoint Paradox just personally feels a lot more Flash heavy than this movie actually was, and this movie does have 2 Flashes, so it is kind of ironic. A lot of my disdain for the movie, and disdain is kind of a strong word because like I've said, I don't dislike the film. Just a lot of my disappointment stems from what I got from the trailers. I went in expecting something and got something completely different, and me personally, I wanted what I expected. I wanted a more Flash heavy story that the Justice Society kind of tied into. However, we kind of got the reverse of that. I didn't feel too much weight with the character deaths, and I thought a lot of this movie was pretty predictable as it went along. Still not a bad watch, but definitely my least favorite of the 4 Tomorrowverse films we've had so far. Moving on, at number 3, the most recent entry into this new universe, Green Lantern Beware My Power. Something I definitely appreciated about this film, and also Justice Society, the 2 that I obviously like the least, as you can see, is that they've incorporated lesser known characters, which I always enjoy in these animated movies. They are incorporating characters that deserve more exposure. I just recently reviewed this movie, so if you want to hear more about it, it is my most recent upload other than this one. I'm not going to spoil anything since it is such a fresh release, but something I didn't bring up in my review is there seems to be some kind of time jump, which I got a comment about, so shout out to whoever commented that. I do read my comment, guys. But it's something I wasn't really thinking about. I did bring up that the Justice League was already formed in the movie, but I didn't account for there had to be some kind of time jump for not only that, but a lot of other things that happened in the movie. You will better understand that once you've seen this film, or if you have, you know the things I'm talking about. There's experience that other characters have with one another that we never saw. Which if we had seen that beforehand, the emotional moments in this film would probably hit much harder than they actually do. I found this film to be lacking a lot of character depth and emotion. That is my biggest problem and my biggest hang-up with it. Some of the changes they made and a lot of the story beats don't really bother me. The main plot of the movie, the war between the Thanagarians and the Ranians, is the most boring plot line in the movie, I think, and it kind of sucks that it is the main plot. But anyway, moving on to the runner-up, number 2, Superman, Man of Tomorrow. This is actually a film that has kind of grown on me since I reviewed it. I liked it when I first saw it, I rewatched it, and I still really enjoyed the film. It is a movie that has a lot of emotion. It has social commentary on our society, the society we are living in right now, and it showcases Superman's morals so extremely well. I love Lex Luthor's role in the film. I love Lobo in this movie. Lobo is so great. Him and Martian Manhunter, how they incorporate those 2 into this movie is so good because they are the last 3, Superman, Martian Manhunter, Lobo, they are the last 3 of their kind. And you find out at the end of the movie that they may not be the last of their kind because Lobo says there are more Martians out there. He's seen them. There are more Kryptonians out there, which could be a hint at maybe Zod coming down the line or Supergirl. At its core, this movie is really about finding your place, because even if you are the last of your kind, the last of your race, or as far as you know or aware of, are the last of, it doesn't mean you're alone. Which is why I think how they used Parasite in the film was so brilliant. Superman's speech at the end of the film is excellent about how he is the alien, Parasite isn't, but the citizens of Metropolis accept Superman and not Parasite because he looks like them. He looks human. And Parasite was once a man that became a monster due to unfortunate events. The moments you see after Rudy becomes Parasite of him looking in on his family, he still has those memories. He knows who his family is. He still cares about them. The emotion just really hit for me in this film, and I feel like it had a lot to say, and it said it. When I first saw the movie, the animation was a bit jarring to me because it was different, and also, as of late, between The Long Halloween and Beware My Power, I just think this animation style works better with darker backgrounds, and Superman Man of Tomorrow is a very bright and vibrant film. Animation aside though, I think it was a great start to this universe, and a solid DC animated movie overall. Now moving on to number 1, what else could it be? Batman The Long Halloween, parts 1 and 2. I love that this movie is about Batman learning to be a detective. All the character dynamics are fantastic. The trio of Batman, Gordon, and Harvey is amazing to watch in part 1, and it's actually heartbreaking when Dent becomes Two-Face in part 2. I've never been a massive Batcat fan, but Batman and Catwoman's relationship has been great in everything that has showcased it the past few years. The Long Halloween definitely wasn't any exception to this. The moments Bruce has with Alfred are terrific. Batman and Gordon are always great together. This voice cast really delivered in both parts. This is the best this style of animation has looked this far in my opinion. It completely turned me around on the look of these films. As I said earlier, it seems that darker backgrounds just complement this style so much better. A lot of the emotional beats land and work really well throughout. I think the mystery and the pacing are both much stronger in part 1 opposed to part 2, but part 2 is still a good watch. It is a slow movie at times with a lot of quiet moments, but I think it just worked for this story. Joker was a standout in part 1. I honestly can't wait to see more of this version of the character. Two-Face got his time in the spotlight in part 2. My only real negative is that Batman lets Gilda walk in the end. This is also another reason I believe part 1 is much stronger. There's not really a single moment where Batman doesn't feel like Batman until the end of part 2. It's fun to see Batman learn and grow as the story progresses. Him never expecting to have to become a detective and adjusting is great character work and storytelling. How every character ties into the story is handled brilliantly. Falcone has never really been my favorite, but I thought he was great in this, and I was genuinely invested in everything he was involved with, and I love how much of a central point Holiday was without actually seeing Holiday much. Sure, it's based on one of the most iconic comics of all time, but as other adaptations have proven, that doesn't always mean the movie will be nearly as great. But The Long Halloween delivered. I think part 1 is great, part 2 is still good, and as a whole, it's one of the better comic adaptations we've gotten. So that was my list. Let me know your list down in the comments below. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all the support on the channel as of late. It really means a lot. I will see you guys next time.